It sounds like a jet engine coming straight at your house. I sometimes conduct meetings in my gardens, and I've had guests literally duck, thinking that we were being strafed. That's what it sounds like. It reminds me of Apocalypse Now, you know, the movie.
That's Gwen Books, a resident of North Fair Oaks. Books, a luxury travel consultant, bought her house 17 years ago because it provided an idyllic setting for working from home. That changed in June of last year, when a startup called Surf Air began flying flights carrying a maximum of 7 passengers between Southern California and the Bay Area. The small number of people on each flight means Surf Air doesn't need to do TSA screening, saving passengers time and making a commute between the 2 California hubs much quicker and more practical by air. One reviewer checked in 10 minutes before a flight and was told she had time to get coffee in the airport cafe before boarding her plane. The company's planes fly in and out of San Carlos Airport, which puts their descent path above the homes of Books and many other residents. The resulting sound makes it difficult to work whenever planes make their 11 daily descents above Atherton, North Fair Oaks, and Menlo Park, residents say. Atherton resident David Fleck says the reason is that the Pilatus PC-12 aircraft Surf Air uses are louder than some similarly sized planes.
The volume itself is significantly louder. You can't help but notice it as they start approaching even about 1 to 2 miles out, let's call it. You can hear this very distinctive sound coming from the distance and then flying right over top. And they're not known for being a quiet aircraft.
But Antonio Trani, a Virginia Tech professor of civil and environmental engineering, sees things differently.
I don't think that they generate a very significant amount of noise. They are turboprop airplanes, and in general, they seem to be very quiet.
Whether or not the type of plane is a problem, Books says she's demonstrated the noise issue to at least one Surf Air executive.
I've had the former founders here in my garden to listen to the planes because they didn't believe us. Corey, who was one of the co-founders, Corey Cousins, he was here and I said, "Oh, your plane's coming." And he said, "Oh, no, that's got to be a jet going to San Francisco, Gwen. You're wrong." And I said, "No, I'm not." And of course it was Surf Air.
Concerned residents have taken action. Over 600 of them signed a petition asking Surf Air to either change airports or reroute its plane's descent path. They've also suggested some alternative solutions. Surf Air has implemented a couple, varying which homes their planes fly over on their way into San Carlos and descending at a steeper angle. But some residents say the changes aren't enough, and they'd like to see the planes descend at a yet steeper angle. Surf Air CEO Jeff Potter says hearing residents out is important to his company.
You're not always going to make everybody happy, but what we can do, again, as a company, is be cognizant of all views, and we want to be respectful of all views. And that is indeed the case that we're taking here, is while we have plenty of support, there obviously are some issues that some of the community have spoken up about, and we're not going to ignore them.
Menlo Park resident Patrick Boyle says he thinks the debate will resolve itself.
I've heard from different people in the business and this type of business that these things tend to resolve themselves because small aviation companies go bankrupt rather quickly. We'll give it a year.
Whatever happens is likely to rely on Surf Air's decision-making and its level of success. Fleck says because the San Carlos Airport accepted FAA funds, local cities have little control over noise levels or flight times. Other communities across the country could face similar debates soon. Potter says Surf Air plans to expand into Texas, Florida, and the Northeast. This has been Liam Kane-Grady, reporting for the Peninsula Press, a project of the Stanford Graduate Program in Journalism.